Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second in our series, our Advent series from Muswell Hill Methodist Church under the general title of Hush the Noise. The words come from a well-known Christmas carol, of course. Hush the noise, ye men of strife, and hear the angels sing. I've been intrigued by those words this year, and particularly thinking about the angels, perhaps. But hush the noise. Why are we to hush? For silence? To sit in silence? Well, no, we're to hush in order to hear the angels sing. I remember years ago being on holiday in North Wales and going out one evening into the valley and realizing that I could hear a dog barking. And I thought, how far away is that dog? Must be a mile away or maybe a couple of miles. It was just so quiet that I could hear at great distance. And then I heard human voices as well, probably a mile away. In the silence, you can hear. Similarly, I have a very strong memory, very fond memory, really, of working out in Dubai and going. I used to love to go out into the desert. We'd go drive out across all the sand dunes and into the mountainous area. One particular occasion, I'd gone out with a colleague to inspect a lot of rocks that were going to be excavated. And we realized that there in the heat, in the mountains, we could hold conversations with each other when we were probably 100 meters apart, long distance apart, and yet it was so silent that we could hear. Hush the noise in order to hear. The hymn writer is not so much thinking of shepherds and angels as our present day situation. What is the noise we need to hush to hear today? I find it quite heartbreaking, really, that in a number of areas of dispute, well-meaning people become so bitter in conflict that they don't hear each other. Arguments that really have good points on both sides, and yet only one side is heard. Think of the arguments in America about abortion, for example, or in the churches here, same-sex marriage. Maybe the issue of assisted dying in society generally. It's very easy for people to take on one side, and we do it ourselves, don't we? We take on one side and don't listen to the reasoned, thoughtful, caring arguments coming from the other side of the discussion, the debate. Sometimes we need to hush the noise in our own heads to listen and really understand what people are saying. Hush the noise, ye men of strife, and hear the angels sing. Who are these angels? I love that line in another hymn which says, the angels here are human, not the shining hosts above. Maybe angels come in all sorts of forms. In the Bible, we hear of lots of different appearances of angels, but they're quite rarely described. And I don't think there's much indication that they look like big overgrown fairies with lots of flappy wings. They come in different forms, I think. Sometimes the phrase is used simply to say God appeared in some way. Other times, the appearance, the vision is much more like a human form. In the book of Hebrews, it talks about entertaining angels unawares. In other words, not knowing that there's an angel has appeared. An angel just means a messenger, someone who brings a message from God. Maybe sometimes we're given messages and we don't realize it. We have to stop and listen to those voices. Who might we listen to? Who are bringing to us God's messages? I'd like to suggest that some of them might come from people who have particular expertise and understanding, and they have something to tell us. Well, we're all familiar with the situation perhaps when a medical practitioner gives us some information, maybe an unwelcome message about her own health. They have knowledge, they're able to share something with us, and we need to listen, even when we want to close our minds to it. We hear quite a lot of it on the radio as well, don't we? Health advice, don't eat this, don't eat that, get plenty of exercise, do all these things. Maybe not the things we'd have chosen to do, but they're good advice. And maybe God is saying to us, look after your body, look after yourself in those ways. Or there's lots of news at the moment about the climate crisis, environmental issues we'd probably rather set to one side because they're inconvenient to us. But they're good messages, and we need to hear them and think, is God saying something to me about this? Is God saying something to me about my lifestyle, what I should do? Or perhaps we have to listen also to people with whom we might disagree quite profoundly. People whose ideas we perhaps think are really quite evil. God can speak to us in many different ways. What about President Putin, for example? What underlies, what motivates his thinking? Or other political leaders with whom we might disagree quite profoundly? Is there something we should listen to there? And not only the individuals, but also those who support them, those who vote for them. Why are they taking those attitudes? Is there a reason in their own lives, in their own situations that we have not understood properly? Maybe even something that we have influenced by our Western way of life, the way we trade and live our lives. Have we helped to create situations? Is there something we have to listen to there? So next time you say to someone, you're an angel, perhaps it shouldn't be so much because of something they've done, which is the way we tend to use the phrase, as something they've said. Could be quite challenging. But is it a message that God is sharing with us? Thank you for joining us today, and every good wish and blessing for the Christmas period when we really celebrate God's biggest message of all in the coming of the Saviour.